All right, welcome for the PML
Oh,
podcast.
snap.
PML podcast. That's a good ring to it. I actually kind of like that just as a name.
PML podcast.
Yeah,
PMLP.
PMLP. Yeah, that works. Um,
Sweet.
oh shoot, I didn't even know I was on Pat's team to start. We're gonna go through each team relatively quickly, so this video is not too long. Well,
Yeah.
what better place to start than our amazing commissioner?
Could
For
do use some work on the name, I think. I like having a name that's tied to the players. I think we're doing
yeah.
everyone's got a good team name so far, so that's one critique I could see. What do you think
Now,
about Pat's draft?
I thought it was very Patrick, as in, I know
Yeah.
he's already laughing at the fact that I said that probably, but as in, like, he went with his gut, he took who he took. There was people laughing, which we know we shouldn't because he's a two-time champ, one of the only two-time champs in the league. So I don't
He
like
kills us
that.
every time.
I don't like that I giggled. Yeah, I did giggle at a moment. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, I said this early, and I know we've talked about this. Like when he took Justin Jefferson, I would have taken AJ Brown right then, but he got AJ
Yep.
Brown on the turn, so like it didn't matter. He got them both. And so you want to look at that as a
Good as you
first,
can
then
get.
second. Yeah, either way. What were your takeaways?
Dude, Devontae Adams as your second flex is as good of a situation as you can possibly be in. Like he would be a wide receiver two on most teams, and he's your fourth, or he's basically your fourth wide receiver, your wide receiver four. You know, Zamir White and Ramondre Stevenson, probably like a little bit of a meme, but if they can produce 10 points a game conservatively, he's gonna have a monster team with like probably the highest upside from wide receiver and flex in the league. Like just unbelievably talented roster. CJ Stroud isn't my favorite quarterback just because like not 6 point passing touchdowns. He's not a huge threat to run. And then Ingram, I'm 50-50 on if Trevor Lawrence can be that guy, he'll be great. We'll see. I think it's
Yeah.
still very much up in the air. I don't think that he lost the league on draft day.
No, not at all. I will say like Michael Pittman is somebody that I passed on so many drafts because I'm just like nervous. I mean, people rank him as a wide receiver one, and I'm just like nervous about him. So the fact that he's your third wide receiver in the flex is fun. And I'm actually high on every Evan Ingram. I think he's overlooked. He on the back half of last season was like tight end two. I think the whole back half of the season. I mean, he could be great. So
Yeah.
yeah, very
Yeah.
solid.
All right.
Let's move down the line here.
New
Next we got
guy. New guy.
new guy, Finn
All right.
Barnett.
Same critique. Got to have a player tied name. I'm probably going to catch some heat from that in the group chat, but you got some good names in there. Let's make something happen.
Especially it's your first time in the league. You gotta be. I don't even know this. It might be an inside joke. It's not working here. Sorry, Ben.
Yeah, I get it. I get you. All
Yeah, it's
right, give
not
me a
good.
rundown of this team, Matt.
Say again. Rundown. All right.
Yeah, give me a rundown.
I love Kyler Murray. I didn't know that was Matthew Berry's ride or die this year, but like I love his value. I think he has potential with some more weapons like Harrison to be a top quarterback. So to get him late, great. I obviously love Christian McCaffrey. We all know he's incredible if he's healthy. And I think Pacheco is going to be bonkers this year.
Yeah.
So right off the bat, those three are just so strong. Every week you play Ben, you're going to be scared that any or all three of those can go off. I'm terrified for him for his flexes, though. I don't like flexes. What do you think of the wide receivers?
Yeah, I mean, we'll get into the wide receivers, specifically one of them a little bit later as one of our closing segments. So we'll save Olave till the end.
Ooh.
But Jalen Waddle, I think um, it's a very high volatility play. He's
Hmm.
going to be very, very good some weeks, and he's going to not play a quarter of the games, and he's going to come out of the game a lot throughout the season.
Yeah.
That's just I rode that dragon last year. It's not a fun one. I love Jay Ferguson. He's got to be the best value in tight ends.
Hmm.
Going so late, he could be the number two target in Dallas. I think that's great.
Yeah.
Von Diggs. I don't know how that. The thing about his two flexes, you don't know how those two wide receiver rooms are going to shake out. They're like the two biggest question marks in wide receivers right now. So it's impossible to say.
Yeah. And in drafts, like I know Ben said this when he drafted Diggs, like, there's certain guys that you're like, oh, he's off my draft board because of the price. But at some point in the draft, it's a good pick. and Diggs kept falling and falling and falling.
Yeah,
And I don't think I would have taken him, but like again, at what point is he a good value? He's still just Stephon Diggs on a high-powered offense. So yeah, ready to be
yeah,
wrong.
6-7's hurt. It's like, what can you do? Yeah,
So, all
good team,
right.
man. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah, with McCaffrey, you're just always in the running no matter what. All right, we got Ryan Cunningham,
Yeah,
Laporta
my week
Authority.
one opponent.
That's good. Oh yeah, so you got some bias.
Yeah, I'll start. Jalen Hurts scares me. You probably are going to disagree a lot because you really like, you've talked about it a lot. You really like the new offense and what they're going to be doing. I just think that there is a possibility that what he did in 2022 was a little bit of a flash and it might not translate. For that reason, though, I love Saquon Barkley because
Mhm.
I think that any step back that Jalen Hurts takes, he's going to see all that benefit. And then also, if Jalen Hurts is great, they're not going to give him to push all the time. I think that that's, I don't think that that's going to stick around forever. And I think that Saquon is going to eat up a lot of touchdowns. David Montgomery, floor play, Garrett Wilson, how can he be worse than last year? He's got Rodgers. We'll see how that plays out. Love Mike Evans, the 1K man. You want to talk about his flexes and tight ends?
Yeah, Laporta, I think there's some regression there for him. Not in a way where it's going to make him not good. So I like where he
Yeah.
got him in the draft. In some mocks, he's going way too early. He got so many touchdowns last year, and that's just not repeatable. Typically it's not. But I mean, dude, right here, this is where he really killed it. Connor, Dobbins, Mostert, McConkey, Watson, like they're all very solid flex plays. So you're just hoping for two of these guys to turn out, and you got a very solid squad. I mean, most are RB2 last year. McConkey could be number one target for Justin Herbert. Like, here's one thing I want to say
Yeah,
though,
and it's
real quick. I'm just gonna jump in with this. Like, is I maybe I overdo this, but I hate stacking players on same teams if it's not quarterback receiver or quarterback or tight end.
mm-hmm.
So like this combo, you're just capping your upside with Hurts and Barkley, and then Montgomery and Laporta. Like, there's so many mouths to feed on that offense. They're both not typically scoring
Yeah.
same week. It's just scary, but yeah,
Yeah, I mean, I completely agree with that. And to your point about the depth, it's a really good place to be because you don't know
yeah,
how the Chargers backfield is going to shake out. You don't know what's going to happen with Miami's backfield. What if
hmm
Ladd turns into Justin Herbert's number one target, Christian Watson, another guy who could just be a stud. Like you're in a good spot, and no matter how it shakes out, you're likely going to have two people that you can put in flex every week.
yeah, really good, solid team. I mean, I love Garrett Wilson, Mike Evans combo. Like that's just versatility there. They could kill the other team on any
Yeah,
week. So, all right, moving on to Grant.
100%.
I love his team name, by the way.
Yeah, lamb chops is good. That's actually what inspired me to go and change my team name. So
Yeah.
good on you,
Well,
Grant.
all right. Joey B. I knew it. I think we saw that pick coming. Like he was one of the few teams without a quarterback left, and Joe Burrow's on the
Mm-hmm.
board. It was like, yeah, you got to. And that's pretty awesome. CD Lamb, of course, his number one pick. He was insane last year. I know Grant's also excited about having Travis Kelce. Like he's never had him on the team. So, like positionally, he's got some big hitters in those three spots: Burrow, Lamb, Kelce. What about the running
Yeah.
backs?
I do like Joe Mixon a lot. He's an established guy going into a high-powered offense. I know we'll talk about it later. It was a very funny moment in the draft, but that got some laughs. But I think that the pick is very solid. I think that Joe Mixon, the player, will be very good. Aaron Jones is another guy who I rode the dragon on last year, and it was an absolute nightmare, and I couldn't wait for it to end. Hoping for Grant's sake, if that doesn't shape out to be that way, that he looked to be cooked in the worst way last year. So who knows? And then two running backs in the flex who, Jerome Ford is going to be running that backfield in Cleveland for at least 4 weeks, probably into the 8, 9, 10 week range, depending on how Nick Chubb's going. And I just don't know about Brian Robinson Jr. Some people are high on him. I'm not.
Yeah, I
I'm
don't
not
know.
sold. As a flex, it's fine. Um, but then the bench, I don't love Pickens. I think that offense is still very stinky. I don't trust Russell Wilson or Justin Fields as far as I can throw them. Same thing with Deontay Johnson. That could work out. The Panthers could be pretty good, but we'll see. Trey Benson's a backup. And then, A.D. Mitchell, a rookie, we'll see. Julian McLaughlin, I love him. I love him. I think he'll be great.
Oh, nice.
Uh,
Okay.
I think that he could, if Javonte Williams takes a step back at all, he's going to eat up all of those
Yeah,
touches.
I know. I agree. I think Pickens again is one that like I was like high on, but I could never pull the trigger. I mean, he with
Yeah,
Deontay Johnson gone, like Pickens is so explosive, the only guy there. If one of those quarterbacks becomes decent, like I mean, he could be great. Like again, just one I couldn't.
could be,
I was
could
scared
be.
Ayuk was going to get traded to him, Pitt, and then it would have
Yeah,
been
that
like
would be
screwed.
bad.
So that was scary when he took both those guys. I don't think Grant was aware of like that possibility of both
I'm
them being on
gonna bet.
Pittsburgh.
I'm gonna bet that he was not aware of that.
No, but it worked out really well in his favor because Ayuk was great last year
Yeah,
and still could be. So, yeah, we'll see.
so
All right, the champion, another two-time champ. I mean,
can't stand him.
like you can't be mad at that name at all because obviously
I
he won.
know, I know. It's the same thing with him being a two-time champ. You hate it because it's good. You're like,
Yeah.
stop it, but he's gonna do it because he can.
Okay.
Um,
Can I?
look at that. Look at that. Look at those running backs. Jonathan Taylor and Jameer Gibbs, stud,
And
stud.
I was out on Josh Jacobs draft time, and now with all the
Uh,
injuries and all this, like Matt LaFleur has said in
yeah,
so many press conferences, he's like, guys, you know me. I only run a committee. I never run a workhorse back. Like I will only ever have a committee. And he has, like, even when
yep.
AJ Dillon was fucking awful. Sorry, am I allowed to cuss on this? I don't know. Uh,
I don't know. I guess we are.
yeah, and was awful. Then like they still ran him a committee. Now AJ Dillon's out for the year. Marshawn Lloyd, the rookie, is like going to miss some time. Like Josh Jacobs primed to be explosive, so could be great.
Definitely, definitely. Wide receiver room looks absolutely studded out. I think Dave Cody said earlier that he wished he would have taken Cup over Debo, but I think those guys are so close to a toss-up that it's like either one could be a top five receiver.
Yeah,
T. Higgins is another guy I want to say for later. I have some special remarks about T. Higgins. Zay Flowers. I think that it's going to be a great situation for him in Baltimore. Obviously, we always see an increase in production from second year guys after their rookie year. So I think that's a great fit. And Joku, I don't know. I feel pretty iffy towards Browns pass catchers just because Deshaun is not Deshaun anymore, and
yeah.
who knows? It could be good. It could not be good. We'll see.
I love these rookie. I mean, Brian Thomas Jr. could be insane, and he could be the number one target for Trevor Lawrence. Jameson Williams, I really
Yep.
think takes a step forward. So I love these
Yeah.
like call your shot. The Jets even paid Mike Williams to
I,
be that guy, but I don't know if he is. But yeah,
I was just gonna say Mike Williams is in a position where he's a number two. So at his draft price, you're getting the potential for someone who could be a flex guy if you get hurt,
yeah.
even if you have guys get hurt. So
So
it's a
these are
good fit.
great shots at the end of the draft to take. I'm not high on Zay Flowers only because we saw him exceed with Mark Andrews out of the offense last year. And the moment Andrews was back, like Zay Flowers didn't do much. I mean, he
Yeah,
could,
we'll see.
like you said, take a step forward second year. So it's again good flex to have. But yeah, I don't like
Yeah,
how good Cody's team is, and I don't like how I said
yeah,
that
I know.
either.
Yeah.
What's this name? What are you doing? You're so much
Dude,
funnier.
don't get me started. Don't get me started.
This
It's
is
this
arguably one of the
internet thing where
funniest.
they do this.
Yeah, he's a funny dude. Be funnier.
I
Sorry.
know, I know.
But all right, let's look at the team. This is uh this is not a normal Parker team, I feel like.
No, it's not.
I don't know why. Like the Kenneth Walker,
I'll tell you
Najee
why.
Harris, that's not
I'll tell
to
you why.
do
Because
what?
the last, I think I'll tell you why. I think this is his third year in a row where he's gone zero RB ish,
Yeah.
and he took Marvin Harrison Jr. in the second round, and that is not a name that you're like, I am 100% bought in confident that he will give you second round production. I think that he will. Don't get me wrong. I think
Yeah.
he's going to be an absolute unbelievable stud. But when you look at it week zero and you haven't seen a guy play one down of NFL football, you don't know how it's going to go. And so it's just a little bit worrisome. But Tyreek Hill, absolute stud.
Yeah.
Rashee Rice could be the value pick of the year. Drake London, who knows? Uh,
Could be
Kirko
explosive
Bangs
too.
in town,
Yeah.
could be absolutely explosive. Trey McBride, another guy coming off his second year. But again, like you said, you don't like to see two guys on the same team that is not quarterback receiver. So it's a good team. It's got high potential, but it kind of leaves you thinking what's going to happen.
Yeah, I mean, I do think Kenneth Walker and I do think Najee will be very, very solid running backs. Then he's got another starter down here in Devin Singletary, which, I mean, just is going to be like serviceable. Not saying he's going to be a great, but a good plug and play with
Yeah.
these elite wide receivers. I think Chase Brown's going
Yep.
to like just outperform Zach Moss. So by the end of the year, come playoff time, Chase Brown could be a dude you're like throwing in instead of Najee or something if he's more explosive. So,
Yeah,
yeah,
man. I texted Parker a few times and said that the two picks that I wish that fell to me that I had circled big time were Rasheed Rice and Chase Brown. I had those guys like penciled in as guys I'm not leaving the draft without. And Parker just took he was two spots ahead of me in the draft, and he beat me out to it. He took it in the round that I was going to take him, which was one or two rounds ahead of their ADP both times.
I gotta flip over to
So
here real quick. I know we're gonna talk about Rice later, but I wanted to see what number wide receiver was Harrison. So one, two, three, four, five, six, seven. Oh, dang, he was eight. Okay,
yeah,
that's more elite than I thought. I thought if he was like 10 or higher, I mean,
well,
because
eighth guy off the board.
does he return as wide receiver eight on the league? Ah, that's tough. But he
I don't know.
took it.
He could. He
But he took
could.
it as his wide receiver too. Like if you start running back and then take Marvin Harrison as your one wide receiver, that's tough.
Yeah.
So the fact that he's got Tyreek first, like he doesn't need to really turn on eight. But okay, all right,
Yeah.
yeah. Again,
All right.
it's a squad. It's scary. Oh, your
You got
turn,
to give
man.
me the whole rundown here. Give me the whole rundown.
All
Don't
right,
go
yeah.
easy on me.
Well, then you can still say your favorite picks, of course. You know, you got to say that, and
For
what
sure.
you're
I'll
worried
comment
about.
on it.
I think Patrick Mahomes has an insane bounce back year. Lucky for me, we're not playing 6 point passing touchdown because if he was, he'd be QB1. But I think
Yeah,
even now
agreed.
he could still be QB1 on 4 point scoring. So I think he's going to have a crazy year. Um, I'm going to jump to your wide receivers because this might be the deadliest wide receiver one, wide receiver two combo. I mean, depending on how Marvin Harrison does, you know, you could have some
Of
competition,
course.
but these two are insane. I was so high on Cooper Kupp. He led every game he played, out, like far and away blew out Puka Nakua's red zone targets. Like he had like four times the
Yeah.
amount of red zone targets. Like Cooper Kupp, the offense still runs through him. So he's going to be great. Kincaid, I think, is going to be insane, and that could be a difference maker for you. I'm nervous about these two, your flex. I'm nervous about them.
You're telling me, brother.
I know. So you're nervous too. I love Tony Pollard, though. Tony Pollard's going to be last year's Rashad White, which you have also. So, like, I don't mind your running
Oh,
backs at
hold on.
all. They're very solid.
Go ahead. Can you repeat that? I'm sorry. I'll hear it on the video later, but my audio cut out. What were you going to
I
say?
I said I love Tony Pollard. He's last year's Rashad White, who was like taken in the sixth, seventh, eighth round and going to finish
Yeah,
top 20. So Pollard's insane. And yeah, you got a very, very, very solid team.
I appreciate that. Yeah, I'm
That was
just
a
hoping that Godwin provides the floor that I'm hoping that he will. And then I'm hoping that Keenan just has the smallest bit of life left in him.
mhm.
Just so long enough that either Achan or Mostert goes down, and I can stick Jalen Wright in that flex spot because I think he's going to be an absolute stud. I took some insurance plays, like I mean, Marshawn Lloyd and
Yeah.
Algier. If Bijan goes down, if Josh Jacobs goes down, those are guys that can go on those flex positions pretty easily. And then I'm going to spend $100 a fab week one and taking whoever the guy here.
Yeah, definitely. And I think um you can still hear me okay, right? Making sure it's coming through.
Yep.
All right. I
Yep.
think Keenan will actually be very strong the first couple weeks. And I think Roma Dunze by the end of the year overtakes him as like the second target in the offense. So I love
Agreed.
Keenan to start the year. And then, like you said, one of these guys pay off, and then boom, there's a little swap later on. So
Yep.
all
We'll
right,
see
let's
how it goes.
moving on. Alvin and the Chipmunks, part three, third time. I wonder how long ago did he
Dude, that's
make this
crazy.
graphic? Like,
A long time.
yeah, I mean,
A
obviously
long time.
this is year number three on it. So there's a little
All right,
history.
let's start running through these a little quicker here.
Go for it.
So we've got Anthony Richardson, who had played 4 games last year, was very good, but is absolutely a question mark in my mind. I think that compared to his ADP, I was never going to take him. I think it's very risky. I think that it could pay off, but I just think, where did he take him?
You want me to pull it up?
Took him in the 6th round. So like he could have taken, if I'm not mistaken, he could have taken Lamar Jackson over him. No, he could. Lamar was just taken. So I would have waited there, but it could work out very well for him. Derrick Henry, I think, is going to be a stud. Kamara is going to get every check down conceivable. I think their offense is going to be horrible, and they're just going to want to get the ball to him as much as possible. Amon Ra, absolute stud, the guy that you want to be your wide receiver one without a doubt. I think we've talked about the Houston wide receiver room enough. So Nico, while he's probably going to be the guy, who knows how that's going to shake out. You really like Andrews. I'm pretty out on Andrews this year. I have to hear all these people talk about Baltimore sports way more than I want to, and all I hear about is how Isaiah Likely looks like the guy, and they're going to run way more 2 tight end sets, and his production's going to get cut down. You want to take it from there?
Yeah. I think Amari Cooper last year when he had Deshaun Watson, Deshaun was like targeting him like crazy. So whether Deshaun's got it or not, I think the amount of targets will save Amari Cooper and he's going to be great. But you kind of hit all the same pieces. I mean, I still believe in Alvin Kamara. I still believe in Derrick Henry. I think they're great. I got to say this about Anthony Richardson. Like I sent this text a while ago, but I heard this stat and I really started like, whoa, like that's insane. AR has only started 17 games since high school. Like that's high school and college and NFL, 17 total games. That's since 2019 and only thrown 470 passes. Like quarterbacks usually throw more than that in one season. He's only thrown that many since 2019. It's been 5 years and he's only thrown 400 passes. Like I'm like, oh my gosh, we have not seen him enough at all. Like
I will say
bad,
it's a 1 quarterback league. It's 1 quarterback league. If it
Yeah.
doesn't work out, he could pick somebody else up. But for the value that he could have got, it's not awesome.
Yeah. So
I have about 6 minutes or 10 minutes until I have to go take these ribs off the smoker. So let's
all right. Well,
put a hard cap on it.
Rapid fire. I think
Josh Allen, I was praying he came
Yeah.
down to me. I don't like either of his running backs here. Bijan scares me to pieces. Devon Achane scares me to pieces. Puka, I took Cooper Kupp. So how can you feel about that? DK, I love DK. He is a guy that just seems to always be consistent. I'm pretty high on Kyle Pitts. I think that he's going to see a huge upswing. You know, he's younger than Brock Bowers.
Yeah, it's insane.
Insane.
I'll jump in. I get why you're saying the risk of these two, but as we both know, I'm either trying to get first or last, bro. Like, let me win it, let me not. And these two can just explode. So we know that. Calvin Ridley, I think, so high on. Will Levis is the new Jameis Winston. He'll throw 5 touchdowns and 5 interceptions. Calvin will at least catch the touchdowns. So Xavier Worthy could be great. Gus Edwards could be great. Yeah. Overall, some explosive players ready to pop off here. So he's terrifying.
Absolutely.
Right, we're going to do my team real quick. Let me have it. And then.
All right. Jordan Love, quarterback 4 in the year last year. You got him in the 11th, I think, or something. No, actually, you got him in the 14th, and you got the rookie in the 12th, so that's awesome. Brees Hall I was visibly shaking when he was on the clock, or when you were on the clock and he was still there. I thought there was a chance I'd get him. I think he's running back 1 this year. I don't think it's. We'll see how it shakes out in San Francisco, but I think he's going to be an absolute stud. Super out on Kyron. The Rams have never had the same running back back-to-back years. They just took Corum, but you drafted Corum, so you kind of protected yourself there. I don't love Devonta. I think that it's too hit or miss with him as your wide receiver 1. He was your wide receiver 2 in the flex spot. You're in a better position. Jaden Reed, I know you're super bullish on him. You really like him as the new Debo. That's all good and well. I don't feel that way. I had him last year. He was great, but I don't think he's like a stud. I don't think he's a wide receiver 2 yet. He's a good flex guy. But speaking of flex guys who are not where they should be, James Cook should be a running back 2 on somebody's team, and he's your flex. So I think that's like an unbelievably good place to be. So he's going to be. I think you've told me this a few times, but when a wide receiver 1 leaves on a team, those targets tend to go to the running back. And they're also wide receiver 1 and they're wide receiver 2. So that's a good spot. Having Malik Neighbors as your second flex, with bench depth, I think is good because it's either going to be him or Tank or JSN. So like one of those will shake out. One of those three will be a good flex play. So I like the team. It's going to be interesting to see. I think you have a very high floor and a decently high ceiling. I think you're going to definitely win a lot of games, but we'll see how it shakes out.
Yep, yep, I agree. And I'm excited to take people to church on Sundays. Brees be with you, and we'll
All
see how
right,
it goes.
enough of that. Enough of that. I can't take this anymore. Briefly with you. All right, give me your favorite pick in the draft.
Favorite pick in the draft was down here, round, I think this was 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Six,
Rashee Rice
seven.
in the 7th
Oh,
round.
dude.
If you're drafting tonight, like he's going in the 5th now. Like he's already rose because
Yeah.
people know the suspension's not going to happen. So
Yep.
best pick.
Yep. I think that's an unbelievable pick. If I hadn't taken my pick, I would have, if you hadn't already claimed that as your pick, I would pick someone else. I would pick him as well, but I would have to pick someone else.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm
Go
taking
ahead.
T. Higgins. T. Higgins in the 5th. I think that that's a ridiculous value. I think that he is going to have a career year. He's very frequently hurt, so you don't often see a full
Yeah.
season from him, but he seems to be good to go right now. He's vying for a contract. If he doesn't get it from the Bengals, he's got to get it someone else. So not only does he have to impress his own team, he's got to go out there and get the eyes of everyone else, and he knows he has to put on a show this whole season. So I think it's a great pick.
Yeah, I agree. All right, worst pick in the draft for you. Wait, do you want me to go first? Because I think I already said mine.
Yeah, go ahead. I think you've already said it.
Caleb Williams. Sorry, I laughed as I said it. That's rude. Caleb Williams for Cody. And it's not even that I don't think Caleb's gonna be good. He's gonna be fine.
Yeah.
But as we both know, right here in the 10th, I loved yesterday in the chat. I asked Cody to bet me Jaden Daniels versus Caleb Williams, and he said no. He thinks my guy's a stud. But he apparently thinks Caleb's more of a stud, which is why I offered the bet because he took him in the 10th. He could have taken Jaden Daniels, he chose not to. He could have taken Dak Prescott, he chose not to. Could have taken the QB5 last year, Jordan Love, he chose not to. And then he said he wanted to make sure he got him. I think you could have waited till the 16th and you would have got Caleb Williams. Maybe not. Maybe like Pat or somebody else would have taken him. But my point is the 10th round, like you didn't need to take Caleb there. Sorry, Cody.
Yeah. Yeah,
But,
man. I think that
yeah.
it's a very volatile play. You could have waited. If he's not the guy that if you don't get him, you're going to lose the season. You could go get Brock Purdy and have a serviceable quarterback. You're picking in the last round. Anyway, sorry, Cody. Love you, brother.
Two-time champ. Like, what can I say?
Two-time champ. What can you say?
Yeah.
This might stir up a little controversy here. I really, really hate the Olave pick. I think that it's going to be a bottom 5 offense. The quarterback play is atrocious. I don't think that so if Harrison was the 8, that makes him 10. I don't see him being a top 10 wide receiver. I would take several guys who were drafted after him before Olave. I know that ADP predicts or dictates how drafts are going to go a lot, but I wouldn't let him slide a lot.
Was that a homer pick? Because I know he's a Saints fan. I know Ben's a Saints fan. So
yeah, has to be, right? Well, they both were. He's a homer pick on Cody's part, and Olave's a homer pick on Ben's part. But homer picks only work out when you got a top 10 offense, not bottom 5.
Tell him about the call-in thing, and then we'll shut it off.
Oh, all right. Every week before we record, we're probably going to record on Tuesday or Wednesday. If you want to call in, quote unquote, to the program, send me or Matt a text message with a voice recording saying whatever you want to say. Keep it somewhat short. It can be a question. It can be a comment. It could be some smack talk. It can be whatever you want it to be, and we'll put it on air and talk about it.
Yep, love it. And don't forget message of the week. First week, see who goes to.
Yep.
We'll see how it goes. Thanks for watching, everybody. Love you.
Yep.
All right, I'm trying to see how I can turn this thing off. All right.